Hi friend, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about margin property in CSS. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. The margin property is useful to create space around the element. If it does not use the margin property, the space around the element will not be created. If you want to give a space in top, right, bottom and left also, then we can use the margin property. So I can say margin property is useful to create the space around the element, and we can set the different sizes of margin for the individual side like top, right, bottom, left. If you want to give different spaces also, it is possible using the margin property. Now let me discuss the purpose of margin property with an example so that it will be very clear for you. Let me go to the desktop or go to the CSS folder. Let me click on the new text document and I will give it as margin.html. So the file extension I am modifying it as HTML. Let me click on the yes. Let me right click on the margin.html, open with Notepad++. And then I will write the basic HTML document. So I will write doc type and then I will provide it as HTML and the HTML open tag, and I will provide the HTML close tag. In HTML, we'll have two main tags. One is the head tag and the body tag. The head tag consists of the title, styles, etc. So let me have the title and I will say it as margin property in CSS. Let me close the title tag and then I will have the body tag. Whatever the information you want to display on the web page, that information you can provide inside the body tag. So I will write body and I will close the body tag, and between I will use some div tag to display some information. Let me write Parnika tutorials and then let me close the div tag. Now let me save this one, go to the desktop CSS and let me right click on the margin.html, open with Google Chrome. Now you can see Parnika tutorials have been displayed. However, you cannot able to see any margin in the top direction, right, left and bottom also. If you want to provide the margin in all the directions, then we can use the margin property. In margin property, we have sub properties like margin hyphen top, margin hyphen right, margin hyphen bottom, margin hyphen left. Now let me discuss about the margin hyphen top. The margin hyphen top property is useful to provide the top margin of an element, or if you want to provide space on top of the element, then we can use the margin hyphen top. Similarly, if you want to provide right side space to the element, then we can use the margin hyphen right. To the left of the element, if you want to provide any space, then you can use the margin hyphen left. To bottom, if you want to provide any space, then you can use the margin hyphen bottom. Now let me discuss with a simple example. For the div tag, we have not provided any margin. So if you want to provide any internal style sheets, then you can use the style tag inside the head tag. So I will write style and then I will provide the type is equal to text or CSS. For the div tag, I want to use the margin hyphen top. So I will write margin hyphen top and then you can provide the margin in terms of pixels and also in terms of percentage, and even you can provide the auto and inherit. First we will discuss with respect to the pixels. So I will provide 5 pixel space in the margin top. Similarly, some 10 pixels I will provide for the left. For the right, I will provide some 5 pixels. And for the bottom, again I will provide some 10 pixel space. Let me end with semicolon. Let me close the style. So we have applied the tag based style. For the tag called div, we have applied this style. So whatever the content have been displayed using the div tag, for all the elements this style will be applied. If you want to verify, before that I need to close the style tag. Now let me save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see there is some space in the top, left, bottom and also to the right. Now let me add some paragraph tag. I will write paragraph YouTube channel for CSC courses and let me close the paragraph tag. And now let me save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see we have a space in the top, left, right and also bottom. After Parnika tutorials you can see there is a space, then only YouTube channel for CSC courses content have been displayed. Now you can ask me, sir, if I want to provide the space in the top, left, right, bottom, should I need to use all these 4 properties? Instead of that one, is there any shorthand property? Yes, we have a shorthand property called margin. Using that margin shorthand property, you can provide the space in the top, left, right and also in the bottom direction. So let me provide margin, and the default syntax is it will have the top space, right space, bottom space and also the left space. So for the top I will provide some 100 pixels. For the right I will provide some 50 pixels. For bottom I will provide 200 pixels, and for the left let me provide it as some 20 pixels. And let me end with semicolon. Now let me save this one, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see top we have given how much space, 100 pixels we have given. So that's why if you look at, this is the starting point. After that 100 pixel space was given, then Parnika tutorials have been displayed. And in the right we have provided the 50 pixels. Okay, so that's why it has given the 50 pixels in the right. And for the left, if you observe, how many pixels we have given? 20 pixels. So that's why you got 20 pixels in the left hand side. And if you observe, I have given bottom as 200 pixels. After Parnika tutorials, 200 pixel space have came, then only YouTube channel for CSC courses have been displayed. To verify it properly, I will give 10 pixels, some 5 pixels, 20 pixels and then 2 pixels. Let me save this one, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see in the top we have 10 pixel space, and to the right we have 5 pixels, to the bottom 20 pixels, to the left 2 pixel space has been provided. If we provide 4 values, the first value will be considered for the top, second value will be considered for right, third value for bottom and fourth value for the left. Instead of providing the 4 values, if I provide 3 values, then what will happen? Suppose if I say margin and if I provide value 1, value 2 and then value 3. The value 1 will be considered for the top, value 2 will be considered for left and right, value 3 will be considered for the bottom. So I can say value 1 will be for the top, value 2 is for left margin and also for the right margin, value 3 will be considered for the bottom margin. If you want to verify, let me discuss with an example. Instead of providing the 4 values, I will provide 3 values. Then top will be considered as 10 pixels, 5 pixel space will be provided for the both left and right margin, 20 pixels will be considered for the bottom. If you want to verify it, let me save this one, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see there has been 10 pixel space in the top, and then if you observe 5 pixels have been provided for the left and right, 20 pixel space has been provided in the bottom. Suppose if I provide only two values, so if I write margin value 1, value 2, end with a semicolon, then value 1 will be considered for both top and bottom, value 2 will be considered for left and right margin. So one value, the first value will be considered for top margin and bottom margin. The value 2 will be considered for the left and right margin. Let me verify with an example. Suppose if I provide 10 pixels and 20 pixels, and if I save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it, then 10 pixel space have been provided in both the top direction and also the bottom direction, and 20 pixel margin space has been provided in the left and right. Suppose if you provide only one value, that value will be considered in all the four directions. If you want to verify, let me save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the 10 pixel space have been provided in all the four directions. As I said earlier, for the margin property, we can provide the values in the form of pixels, percentage, auto and inherit. Now let me discuss how can we provide the values in the form of percentage. Let me provide 10% in the top and 20% in the right, 30% in the bottom, and then another 10% in the left. Let me save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the content have been displayed like this. So 10% space has been provided in the top direction, 20% space has been provided in the right direction, and 30% space has been provided in the bottom, and another 10% space has been provided to the left margin. If we provide the value auto for the margin property, what will happen? Suppose if I provide auto, then the content will be displayed horizontally center. In the center, it will be displayed. If you want to observe, let me save it. If you observe, Parnika tutorials content have not displayed in the center. Why? Let me discuss. If we do some modifications to this program, then the auto property you can find the difference. Let me provide the border. We already discussed about the border property. The border property is useful to provide the border to the HTML element. I can provide the some 5 pixels border. The width is 5 pixels and the style I want to apply it as solid and the color I want to apply it as pink, and then for this element I will provide the width as 100 pixels and let me provide the semicolon. Okay, save the program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the Parnika tutorials have been displayed horizontally center. If you want to give more width, let me provide some 200 pixels. Then if you observe, the content have been displayed horizontally center. If I give some 130 pixels and let me save it, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you have given a width of 130 pixels and you have provided the margin as auto. Now you can identify that the Parnika tutorials content have been displayed horizontally center. In place of auto, if I use the inherit, then what will happen is that for the parent of this tag, for the div tag, who is the parent tag? Body tag. For the body tag, whatever the style you have applied, the same style will be applied to the div tag also with respect to the margin. So for the body tag, if I use the margin as 0, then the same will be provided to the div tag also. So I will write body and then I will write margin as 0 pixels and let me end with a semicolon, close the curly braces. So whatever the margin you have provided for the parent tag, which is body tag, the same will be taken for the even div tag. Let me refresh it. Now you can see the margin has been provided 0 pixels in all the 4 directions. So this is about the inherit value to the margin property. I hope you have understood the purpose of margin property in CSS. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.